I'm not even the one to like sit here and act like I know them, like I know everything about them. I don't. I barely know much about Loona, let alone Chew herself. But just a couple of watch Chews I watched, and the fact that even she still has fans that support her like solo endeavors, I just know that the shit that the company was saying was bullshit. Talking about she was using abusive language, abusive power. Like it just felt like bullshit, honestly. And then me knowing that they wasn't paying them, like even that alone, just the fact that you don't pay your artists, that alone, like even if she were to be doing that, I don't want to say you deserve it, but it's like you gave her every reason in the book to act like that. But like I said, I'm not going to speak too out of terms because I don't even know the full extent to if they really weren't paid at all or if it was just little compensation. Hopefully this right here clears up a lot. I know someone sent me this and they're like a big Loona fan, so hopefully
understanding
this right here helps me
on not just K-pop, but
get a better grasp before I dive too much deeper into them. Just understand what's happening, really.
Do unless you lived it in real time. From a phrase as innocuous as Stan Loona, history was made. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on orbit. Before we get into the video, some disclaimers. This video is not meant to be an objective analysis. If that bothers you,
this
then
is
just don't watch
this is the Butterfly music video. I haven't seen it, but I do know that one of those little K-pop quizzes said like who had the better Butterfly song, and it was like 8 different groups that had the song named Butterfly. And I remember seeing that scene, but I could be wrong.
It was made, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on orbit. Before we get into the video, some disclaimers. This video is not meant to be an objective analysis. If that bothers you, then just don't watch the video, don't waste your time. You will gain literally nothing from intentionally making yourself mad. Don't live your life like that. Also, most of this video is drawing from...
Even if it's not objective, you have like a sound reasoning right there, so I'm already gonna give it a chance.
Intentionally making yourself mad. Don't live your life like that. Also, most of this video is drawing from my own memory during the years I've been in orbit, so sorry if I get something wrong, sorry if I don't have a source. This channel supports OT12 Loona before anything else. I would sacrifice almost every post-Loona release to get them back together, except the L'Ensemble album, because getting to hear those girls actually sing on multiple tracks for the first time since they're solos in most cases cannot be replaced. I do read every single comment, and I do reserve the right to delete any I find to be offensive, made in bad faith, or targeting me, the members, or other commenters maliciously. But I also have a full-time job, and like my sleep, so trust I will not be losing any over some YouTube comments.
Wait a minute, hold on. I'm liking what I'm hearing from her. Okay, this sounds like an actual human being, not just someone that's trying to tiptoe and just be nice to the comments. She's being real. Okay. Wait a minute, I might drop a sub. I can't because I can't drop a sub. I don't have the channel right here. But I like how she sounds right now. She sounds like an actual human talking.
Other commenters maliciously. But I also have a full-time job, and like my sleep, so trust I will not be losing any over some YouTube comments. The final disclaimer is a message to stay informed, support Palestine by following the guidelines set by the BDS movement. The only god companies and governments worship is money, so hit them where it hurts. I assume most of the viewers are orbit, so we know the deal. And please remember that ceasefire is not the end goal. The end goal is Palestinian freedom. Also, please look into what's happening in DR Congo, and if you really need to replace your electronics, look into Fairphone before jumping on the newest model of whatever brand you prefer. This has been my announcement. With that out of the way, we can get into the video. Loona, known in Korean as Itare Sonyo or Girl of the Month, is, as mentioned, a 12-member group formed over the course of 22 months. They're known for their pre-debut project that followed the formation of the group and its unique concept. Each member was revealed with a solo single album, as well as a majority of the members joining in unit promotions. The project started off slow, but with each member revealed gained in momentum. Starting in October 2016 with the reveal of Heejin, Loona established a concept of each girl getting a representative color and animal that would become identifiers in a larger story told throughout their releases, or a lore. Upon the reveal of their second member Hyunjin, the project was joined by Digipedi. Not 100% sure how to define the company, but it's essentially a video production company with an emphasis on K-pop music videos. Their style became integral to the visual representation of this Loonaverse, as it's called, as they fulfilled the promise of their social media handles to truly become Loona the world. For Heejin's solo, they traveled to Paris. For Hyunjin's, they traveled to Tokyo. With the addition of third member Haseul, they added Iceland to the list. Fourth member Yeojin would become the youngest member, as well as bringing Taiwan into the mix. In March 2017, the first Loona unit would make their debut, consisting of Heejin, Hyunjin, Haseul, and the fifth member Vivi.
1-3?
The composition of the unit was decided by a fan vote where fans would choose 3 of the 4 revealed members to join the, at the time, unrevealed Vivi in a special project. The unit was called 1/3 in reference to the unit consisting of 1/3 of Loona's lineup. They made their debut with their mini album Love and Live and title track of the same name. The unit was focused on a girlish, youthful pop sound as well as having some 90s inspiration in their B-sides. After that, Vivi would release her solo with title track Everyday I Love You featuring Hassel and B-side Everyday I Need You, a rearranged version of the title track featuring unrevealed member Jinsol. Vivi also represents her home country of Hong Kong, being the first and only member of non-Korean nationality. With the introduction of Vivi, Loona's storyline began to take form with her being an android in the music video who was curious about what it might mean to be human. Her solo music video further built on this concept by using cassette tapes as a vehicle for her memories. 1/3 would have their first and so far only come back with their repackaged album called Love and Evil, with evil being live backwards. Their title track, Sonatine, was an emotional ballad with some French musette elements. Along with that came a 90s pop-inspired track called Rain 51 Decibel, showcasing a strong bassline for further genre expansion for the group. Phase 2 of the project began in May 2017 with the reveal of the 6th member, Kim Lip. Debuting with the sultry R&B track Eclipse, Loona's fandom began expanding rapidly beyond dedicated K-pop fans. She was then joined by Jinsol, making her official debut as the 7th member in June with the future bass track Singing in the Rain. In July, Cherry would join with her experimental title track Love Cherry Motion. Their debuts changed Loona's landscape into a darker one than the youthful innocence of 1/3. They would make their unit debut as Odd Eye Circle in September 2017 with their mini-album Mix and Match and title track Girlfront, and birthed the Stan Luna movement.
Yeah, Odd Eye might be the one I fuck with.
Popularity in the West, particularly in the US, in a time before K-pop began its push into the market, Odd Eye Circle would release an English version of their hyperpop B-side Lunatic prior to their comeback. They made their comeback on October 31st with their repackaged album Max and Match, along with title track Sweet Crazy Love. The album saw much critical and fandom acclaim, with many regarding it as one of the best K-pop albums ever made, up there with the likes of FX's Pink Tape and Wonder Girl's Reboot. In November, the final unit of the group would begin revealing its members, starting with Eve. This unit was known as the Eden Unit, and many fans regard their storyline as the most cohesive in the lore. Eve's solo track New became the first Soultronica song released in K-pop, solidifying Loona's genre exploration and expansion. Vivi also featured in the music video in a scene reminiscent of her own solo, connecting the two units. The introduction of their 10th member in
December... She wearing the yellow stripes like Heejin was in the Little Bunny video, the first solo.
Of her own solo, connecting the two units. The introduction of their 10th member in December 2017 would prove to be the turning point in Loona's career more than once. Member Chu debuted with her song Heart Attack just in time for the Christmas season, and the song has been embraced by LGBT communities across the world, particularly due to the sapphic themes of the music video, where Chu is shown vying for Eve's attention in various ways. To this day, Heart Attack remains the most streamed song on Loona's Spotify profile. In late January 2018, Go-won joined as the 11th member with her title track One and Only, expanding on the lore of the Eden Girls. Before the final member was revealed, Loona held their first fan event in early February called Loona X Study Group, where they screened their music videos and the members would discuss details and theories about them with fans. A few unreleased videos were also shown.
Wait, is that like something that people got recordings of? I want to hear this.
In early February called Loona X
It's lore, bro. I fucking love lore. I try to find lore in anything I watch, bro.
Where they screened their music videos and the members would discuss details and theories about them with fans. A few unreleased videos were also shown, including a full color version of the Sweet Crazy Love music video and several choreography videos. This would be the precursor to the event that first teased the reveal of the final member, the Cinema Theory event. In late March 2018, Olivia Hye, now known by her real name Haeju, made her official debut as the final member of the group with her song Egoist. However, as mentioned, she had previously been teased in the Cinema Theory event teaser, which came in late February. The event in Seoul was held the day of her debut, so she was not included, featuring as a silhouette on the poster and not part of any of the merchandising. However, after her debut, she was added to the poster and merchandise for the Busan event. The event featured far more unreleased clips and videos that connected the music videos to one another, as well as showcasing alternative versions of the songs and music videos, including a choreography video of a remix of Love and Live where Hyunjin was replaced by Cherry.
Yeah, she going at it.
Including a choreography video of a remix of Love and Live where Hyunjin was replaced by Cherry.
Blackberry.
An event was held on Loona's Instagram to hold the Cinema Theory event overseas, and Brazil won the chance. This is where things start taking a downwards turn, as this promise has not been fulfilled 5 years later. The final Loona unit, YY by Y, which stands for Youth Youth by Young, would make their debut with mini-album Beauty and the Beat and title track Love Forever featuring Grimes at the end of May, marking the unofficial end of the pre-debut project as they would not have a repackaged album. Notably, not a single member of the unit had actually been in the company.
Repackage is just like a remaster version of the songs, I'm guessing?
Have a repackaged album. Notably, not a single member of the unit had actually been in the company for very long before their official debut. Eve, Chu, and Gowon were all trainees for less than a month, while Haeju was confirmed to debut the day before filming for the Cinema Theory teaser, but we'll get into that a bit later. After their promotions ended, Loona began preparing for their full
But do they mean they wasn't Blackberry trainees, or they just wasn't trainees in like no company at all? Like they just got picked up off the street?
Less than a month, while Haeju was confirmed to debut the day before filming for the Cinema Theory teaser, but we'll get into that a bit later. After their promotions ended, Loona began preparing for their full group debut. Their first full group release came in the form of pre-release single Favorite on the 7th of August. The music video was mostly just choreography and began Loona's journey to being recognized as one of the strongest performance groups in K-pop. Following that was their first event with all 12 members, a debut concert titled Loona Birth on August 19th. This is recognized as Loona's official debut date as it was the first time all songs on their debut mini-album Plus Plus were revealed to the public. Their album and title track Hi Hi were officially released digitally and physically the very next day. Initially, many fans were disappointed by both Favorite and Hi Hi for completely opposite reasons. They felt Favorite was too girl crush, but after getting 2 weeks to get used to it, they then felt Hi Hi was too childish as they had been expecting something closer to Odd Eye Circle sound. Today,
that's what I want to hear. I want to hear Odd Eye Circle because I feel like I think before I even knew what Loona was, I think I heard Odd Eye Circle because I think they made the Air Force song, the Air Force Ones. They made the Je ne sais quoi song. I think there was like 2 more other songs they made. I can't remember, but I know those 2 were the ones I was playing a lot before I even knew what the fuck Loona was
too childish as they had been expecting something closer to Odd Eye Circle sound. Today, both songs are recognized by fans as truly emblematic of Loona's style and sound and highly regarded. Their debut promotions were officially brought to a close on October 14th with the release of the XX teaser. This teaser showed the Plus Plus teaser in reverse, hinting that the Loonaverse would be rewinding, also a common theme in their lore. The Multiply era officially began with the release of the X1X teaser on December 31st, 2018. The era would be preceded by an additional 4 video teaser. The first was X2X, a teaser featuring Gowon in Iceland. The second was X3X, featuring Haeju in Paris. And the last one was X4X, featuring mainly Eve dancing on the streets of Hong Kong before being found and joined by Chu. The album and its accompanying title track Butterfly would be released on February 19th, 2019 to much critical acclaim. The music video has been lauded for including young women from all over the world and becoming the first K-pop music video to feature a hijabi woman. The music video, like the teasers, was filmed all over the world, both in the locations featured in the teaser as well as LA. Things would take a rough turn after the release of the album, as album production issues led to the physical copies of the albums not being released until days and weeks later. To this day, despite being one of their most coveted albums to own, Multiply has not received a reissue. Other problems arose as Orbits attempted to get Loona their first music show win, such as the album being posted on a new Spotify profile, music shows not uploading their performances, and more. On February 25th, their agency announced...
I hear a lot of like sneaky things happen with the music shows, even like nowadays, so I'm not even shocked about that.
Shows not uploading their performances, and more. On February 25th, their agency announced that member Hassel would be going on hiatus following the passing of her grandmother. After promotions ended, the company announced an extension of her hiatus, which would last from May 10th until July 9th. The era officially came to a close on March 31st when the Hash teaser was released. The teaser heavily featured extra shots from Gowon's teaser shot in Iceland, and due to the final scene as well as some shirts worn during covers, fans began referring to the album as Burn. On May 31st, a teaser was dropped for Loona's long-teased ballad album, now officially titled La Maison. Understandably, fans were now incredibly hyped for 2 new albums by the end of the year once Hassel returned from her hiatus. Around mid-August, creative director Jaden Jong, credited with the creation of their concept and storyline, revealed that Multiply was the last album he worked on with Loona, alluding to what would be confirmed later that he had left the company. A later interview would see him reveal that he left due to creative differences.
For Jong, every new story starts with an ending. It's part of his process. He doesn't begin a narrative without knowing how it all wraps up. He envisioned the Loonaverse as 45 parts, from solo songs to subunits to official comeback singles. but he didn't get to see his vision all the way through due to creative differences with Blockberry creatives and new management who wants to put less significance on the Loonaverse. I found that we just didn't align as we had before, Jung said. In August, he left the company with Luna's repackaged album, XX, being his last project with the group. A ballad album was scrapped in the process. Damn, y'all just... Wait, so I'm pretty sure if you scrapped it, anything that the girls already done at that point, they wouldn't get compensated for. So it's just like a deleted hard drive. Like, it's just gone. There's no proof of it being there or anything. I felt very empty when I couldn't proceed further with Loona, he added. And I was going to ask earlier when she was bringing up the songs Burn and everything. Burn is one of the songs that Artemis has right now with Mod House, right? Or am I thinking of something else? I'm pretty sure I seen the word of the song Burn somewhere. Or Fire. It was something to do with that. Because I'm pretty sure I watched the music video because it was in like black and white.
Regard to how the lore concept would continue. Loona went on an unannounced hiatus, spending most of the year performing at various festivals around Korea, culminating in their attendance at KCON LA 2019. This would mark Hasel's proper return to group activities and Luna's first overseas schedule. Their appearance at the convention drew in such a large crowd, even event organizers began referring to it as LunaCon. Shortly after Hasel's return from hiatus, Luna's company was hit with a lawsuit from one of their investors, a Japanese media company.
Well, I see a bunch of figures. Polaris Entertainment, the record label of Loona, and its chief executive officer Lee Jung-myun has been ordered by South Korea's Seoul Central District Court to pay tech company Donuts a sum of $305,582 for a project with Loona that was never completed. Was that the ballad one that they scrapped? I'm gonna have to rewind because maybe she finna say it. The lawsuit was filed by Donut after Polaris failed to return a deposit amount of $339,280, which was paid to Polaris back in 2017 to lease a building space for an event with Loona. Donuts claimed that the record label only returned $33K to the you missing a lot. To the company, failing to pay the remaining sum of $305,000, according to Sunpi, a Korean entertainment news website. The company also claimed Polaris failed to fully deliver the promise of Loona's appearance at a live stream event at the known as app My Lot. Damn, y'all just scamming motherfuckers left and right. I don't even want to say y'all, the company is. With only one member having turned up for the event. Who's the one member?
Event organizers began referring to it as LunaCon.
How do you have this type of thing with all this steam behind it? Presumably, and they calling this shit LunaCon. How do you just fumble something like that?
Since return from hiatus, Luna's company was hit with a lawsuit from one of
I might be biased and already like throwing dirt on them and already having like a bad outlook on the rest of this video because just off the little bit I already do know about them not paying them and how they was treating some of the artists, starving them and shit like that, I'm already like looking at them negative to begin with. So I'm not going to say this is an unbiased reaction. But
shortly after Hasel's return from hiatus, Luna's company was hit with a lawsuit from one of their investors, a Japanese media company called Donuts. Donuts had invested 400 million won into the company back in 2017, and aside from expecting a repayment of their investment, their agreement also involved the Loona members promoting their live video hosting platform, My Live. Only Yojen had actually used the platform while the company continued using VLive, the biggest live streaming platform in K-pop prior to HYBE's acquisition of it in 2022. In response, Orbits began mass buying the Multiply Multiply album on iTunes, causing it to top the US iTunes album chart 9 months after its release and making Loona only the third K-pop girl group to achieve that after Red Velvet and Twice earlier that year. This was done
Y'all was competing with Red Velvet? Oh my god.
To achieve that after Red Velvet and Twice earlier that year. This was done under the hashtag #SaveLoona, where fans showcased Loona's immense global reach once again. Relief came in the form of a fan meeting and pre-release single 365 that December, as well as their #1 teaser, featuring Heaton. When pre-promotions for their mini-album Hash began, fans noted that it seemed this was a completely different style and sound to what had been teased in the Burn teaser in March. Noting a public blog post by former creative director, fans assumed that Burn, or the original version of Hash, had been deleted, much like their concept album Loona the Ballad / La Maison. During their showcase, it was revealed that the founder and former CEO and executive producer of SM Entertainment, Lee Soo-man, known as the father of K-pop, had stepped up to work with Loona as the executive producer of the mini-album. This would mark his first ever work outside of SM Entertainment in the 25 years since its founding. Unfortunately, the company also announced that Hasel would be going on a second indefinite hiatus due to anxiety, and with thus not promote the album, although
Also, she was the one that left because of her grandmother, I believe.
Second indefinite hiatus due to anxiety, and would thus not promote the album, although her vocals were still featured on several B-sides. Hash and its title track So What would go on to earn Loona even more accolades. Despite the image shift being jarring to older fans, the song would go on to earn them their first ever music show win and draw in many new fans. So What has been especially acclaimed for its intense choreo, which, if I'm not mistaken, is still the K-pop choreo with the most formation changes, as well as its bridge. Although its promotions were affected by the pandemic, many still consider So What to be one of Loona's best eras. In a strange turn of events, Loona would announce a second mini-album later that year to be released on October 19th, and actually followed through. The album, Midnight, again featured Lee Soo-man as the executive producer and expanded Loona's genre even more. In particular, B-side Voice became only the second Loona song to receive an English version in the form of Star. After concluding promotions for title track Why Not, Loona would promote Star with a music video and performances, as well as attending radio shows overseas via video call. To build up hype, Loona's company bought several stars as a gift for fans and revealed them one by one as Why Not reached specific milestones. The Star music video also became the first music video since Rain 51 Decibel to not be produced or filmed by Digipedi. Although Star saw more popularity than Why Not, such as reaching the top 40 on American radio charts, visually speaking, fans have noticed the influence of Why Not cinematography throughout the industry, proving Loona's impact. In the final days of 2020, the Midnight era officially came to an end with the release of the New Moon teaser. The teaser heavily featured extended scenes from Why Not, as well as a new scene of Vivi, and teased the return of Hassel to group activities. However, Loona would not make their return until June 2021, when they began to tease their fourth mini-album and, as well as title track PTT, starting with a poster of 12 Eyes, officially marking the return of Hasse. Understandably, Orbits were incredibly hyped for the release. PTT became one of Loona's most successful releases domestically and was supported by both an online concert and online fan meeting, marking their first performances as a full group since 2019. However, promotions for the song would be cut short within days of them receiving their second music show win, first as a full group, due to a staff member being diagnosed with COVID. The era was sure to have been one of their biggest to date, were it not for that unfortunate turn of events. In June and September, members Yeojin Goon, Cherry, and Kim Lip would release 2 collaborative singles with children's cartoon Kokomong, titled Yum Yum and Yummy Yummy, respectively. Also in September, Kim Lip would feature in another project unit alongside Eve, Jinsol, and Heejin for the single Not Friends. In late June, they released a special clip performing Butterfly and Favorite at the Mori building to tease their long-awaited Japanese debut. Fans could determine, based on their styling, that this clip had been filmed in 2019, the same year they had begun to hint at a Japanese
tell with the hairstyles and everything, I'm guessing.
This clip had been filmed in 2019, the same year they had begun to hint at a Japanese debut.
Oh yeah, right now I think in the current timeline, this is like 2020. Yeah, because they say the person got COVID, so this has to be around 2021, 2022. So yeah, they probably did look different from, you could tell a 3-year difference on people.
2019.
So yeah.
The same year they had begun to hint at a Japanese debut. Currently, the assumption is that the debut was postponed due to internal issues, as well as waiting for Hassel's return. Loona would make their Japanese debut with the Hula Hoop Starseed Kakuse single. The single showed unexpected results, reaching 6th place on Japan's Oricon album sales charts, as well as 3rd place on the top single sales chart. Although a majority of their 2021 promotions were cut short, Loona would excite fans with the announcement of their February 2022 concert titled Loonaverse From, a thematic continuation of their 2019 Loonaverse concert. However, fans were disappointed to find out member Chu would be absent due to health.
Okay, now here we go. This is Blackberry Creative. We want to inform you that Chu will be absent from the Loonaverse concert, which will be held for 2 days from February 11th to 12th due to health reasons. We are sorry. Okay, so it's basically just like the regular copy paste what's going on with the artists, and they'll be back. Hopefully they return healthy type thing.
Due to health issues, only for her to show up on stage on the second day of the concert and reassuring fans that she really wasn't that sick through her tears. A short while later, Loona were confirmed as participants of Queendom 2, the second female iteration of the show since the first season in 2019. Competing against Uju Sonyo, Hyorin, Brave Girls, Kepler, and Vivi's, fans had high expectations for their appearance. During the first introductory episode, it became clear that
all the girls on there? There's all 12 of them right here. I thought this was one of the members. I think this is Hoyland.
expectations for their
Yo,
appearance. During the first introductory episode, it became clear that Chu's attendance at the concert was so she could be there when the members found out they were confirmed to be on the show, as that was revealed to them backstage after the concert. But unfortunately, things seem to only get worse after they get better on Loona Island, and the girls were unable to participate in the first round of stages due to all contracting COVID the day of the performance. Member Hyunjin held out for a day longer, but all members of the group were sent into quarantine and unable to compete. Due to this, they would end up receiving no points for the round, setting them up as the last place for the entire show so far. Not ones to back down, Loona and Orbits came back for round 2 with something to prove, and they took second place for that round. Despite some ups and downs throughout, Orbits would manage to win every single category in the final episode, coming less than 3,000 points behind the final winners, Uju Sonyo.
Wait a minute, so they was set up from the well, I don't want to say set up because I guess they couldn't really control with the COVID, but they started off already at a disadvantage and they still came that close.
Despite some ups and downs throughout, Orbits would manage to win every single category in the final episode,
I don't know,
coming less than 3,000 points behind the final winners, Uju Sonyo. Had Loona received any points for their round 1 performance, which was filmed and aired during round 2, they would have pulled ahead, if even by a tiny margin.
Exactly.
Taking their frustration from that, Orbits transformed it into 2 wins for their post-Queendom comeback Flip That. The first time ever Loona received multiple wins for one comeback, and the most awarded post-Queendom release. After that successful era, Loona set out on their first ever world tour titled Loona the World Tour. However, something loomed on the horizon. Starting on August 1st in LA, prior to the show, it was announced that Chu would be unable to join the entirety of the tour due to scheduling conflicts. Amidst the confusion, allegations began to come out from Korean fans that their company...
rough translation. I haven't said it until now, but these BBC's motherfucker... Huh? Wait, this... Wait, this... Wait, is this like an actual translation? I haven't said it until now, but these BBC motherfuckers... I know British Broadcasting... No, BlackBerry. Motherfuckers haven't assigned a manager on Chu's individual schedule for the past 5 months. That's why Chu has only been riding a taxi to go to her appointments and had to move her own career. One on fans... Oh my God. One fan site knows that BlackBerry Creative hasn't been providing Chu with the manager support since May. On her way to the solo schedule, she has been seen with taxis. That was also seen after Weekly Idol film. Wait, so what? Hopefully this video explains why they was doing this.
Conflicts. Amidst the confusion, allegations began to come out from Korean fans.
Is it because like her personality just seems like the type to not be combative, or...
Their company had ceased all support for Chu, leading her to carry her own luggage and taking taxis between her many schedules. This preceded the revelation that Chu had filed for a contract injunction in December 2021 due to unpaid wages. It was revealed that Chu and the company had come to the compromise that she would remain in Loona while handling her solo activities independently. Each side got 3 cancellations of activities before a penalty fee would be charged, but I'll get into that later. During the tour, members began dropping out from show to show, ultimately ending up with only 4 members who performed all the way through at all shows, those being Heejin, Hyunjin, Vivi, and Goon. Hassel and Cherry were entirely absent from the European dates, while the other members dropped out from certain dates due to illnesses, mental health issues, on-stage issues, and injuries. Upon their return to Korea, they performed 2 dates in Seoul in mid-October, again with the absence of Chu and Cherry. On November 25th, 2022, the world came to a stop when their company announced the removal of Chu from the group due to verbal abuse of staff. However, within days, it would start
this is what the fuck this is the one comment I heard. I just knew it was bullshit. We're releasing a statement to notify fans that we have decided that our agency artist Chu will be expelled and withdrawn as a member of Loona as of November 25th, 2022. There has been lots of speculation about Loona's Chu's this past year, but the agency and the Loona members did not release any statements in order to not cause trouble with the group's growth and cause concerns to fans. With the Loona members' affection for the team and considerations for their fans, rather than say what is true or not, they've tried to express their feelings by putting in their best efforts for performances and content. I'm guessing whenever they aren't fucking sick, injured, or something's going on with them. However, after recently being told Chu's violent language and misuse of power towards our staff, the truth was found upon investigation. Agency representatives are apologizing and confronting staff, and we have decided to take responsibility for this and remove Chu from Loona. First of all, we officially apologize to the staff who have been greatly hurt by this incident, and we put in our full effort so they can now heal and focus on the treatment and the return to their normal lives. He apologized to the fans who have been loved and supporting Loona until now and asked for his sincere forgiveness and not being able to have 12 members together until the end. Just some more bullshit, I'm guessing. Yeah, just
However, within days,
bullshit.
it would start spinning out of control once more as people and staff came out in droves to defend Chu's character, but most impressively...
Wait, so even the staff themselves are defending her?
More as people and staff came out in droves to defend Chu's character, but most impressively, all the members aside from Vivi and Hyunjin, who had been outspoken in her support for Chu on their fan communication app Fab, decided to file for contract termination. Their company began a mass slander campaign where they claimed they had evidence of Chu verbally abusing their staff, but they could not reveal it without the staff's permission. As the lack of evidence and supportive statements piled up, their company made the desperate move of teasing a comeback and season's greetings.
So maybe if the staff that they so-called said started this didn't want to say anything, it's either two things. Either one, the staff person that they talking about said this thing is just a made up, that's not a real person. Or two, the staff member that they are using, like, no one wants to step up and take the blame for something that didn't happen. They don't want to be the guinea pig or the one that has all this shit attached to them, because like I said, everyone knows that it's a lie. That's within the company and the members themselves, they know it's a lie. So you just, like, no one wants to be the sacrificial lamb to like stand up for these made up ass things, I'm guessing.
Held up, their company made the,
because it would make no sense if I'm a person of the staff that's actually been mistreated in that way. I would be the first one somebody knows she actually did do these things. I guess you could make a case and say it's one of those things where it's like, well, it's like there's one person that everyone looks at fondly, but they did you wrong, but you don't want to stand up and say it because everyone will call you a liar. But I don't know about that. Like that's one of those few cases where I don't think that that's what's happening here. I think they did just make it up.
Move of teasing a comeback and season's greetings.
Like there's no staff at all. Not even the staff member that lied. There's no staff at all that's dealt with that.
Kits. However, Orbitz had already begun boycott actions in solidarity with the girls, and both releases got record low pre-orders despite the promises of fan calls and fan sign events. While there were still some people prioritizing their consumption over the well-being of the girls, a majority of the fandom across platforms agreed to cease financial support to their company by any means necessary, especially as it came out that none of the girls had received a paycheck in 4 to 6 years they had been at the company.
6 years? 6 years? Like, a year is already crazy. 6? So fucking crazy, bro. 4 to 6 years? Like, granted, I'm pretty sure most of that, I feel like most idols probably go into debt just because they have to pay off, like, trainee debt, like the housing and, like, vocal lessons and all of that. But it shouldn't take you fucking 4 to 6 years, should it? Like, I'm new to the industry. I don't really know how the contracts and all that shit work, but I don't, like, 4 to 6 years. And it doesn't help that at this point that they've been sabotaging them, so that it's like they don't never make any money anyway with the canceled performances and shit. So it's 4 to 6 years. I cannot imagine working somewhere for 4 to 6 years. Like, nah, bro. Nah.
That none of the girls had received a paycheck.
So that's probably why they're so against Chu, because I'm guessing Chu is the one that brought up and said to everyone, like, where's the money? Or she was at least the one that's probably brought up into the company, like, we're not getting paid. I know I would have brought that shit up the first month. 4 to 6 years? Like, get the fuck out of here.
The girls, a majority of the fandom across platforms, agreed to cease financial support to their company by any means necessary, especially as it came out that none of the girls had received a paycheck in 4 to 6 years they had been at the company.
Motherfuckers can't even buy a Reese's, bro. 4 to 6 years.
Idols.
회사에 혼날 수도 있잖아. 솔직히.
I mean, you can't get any more trouble than you already are now. What they gonna do? Take your money?
Aside from Chu,
where does the money go? Where does the money go, actually? Where does Orbit's money go?
Aside from Chu, whose solo endeavors were only compensated after her first lawsuit went in her favor all the way back in December 2021. The company's Hail Mary attempt came in the form of a dispatch article meant to smear Chu's name by revealing text messages between her and higher-ups at the company. Highlights include a transcript where one of the higher-ups mocked Chu and questioned her education when she asked for an explanation for her settlements, framing her as demanding when she requested her time allocated for team activities not be spent on standby for the umpteenth time, framing her understandable reaction to this
misrepresenting her standby for wait
explanation for her settlements, framing her as demanding when she requested her time allocated for team activities not be spent on standby for the umpteenth time, framing her
So if she's not in the group and she's doing solo things, she would rather her time being spent, if she's gonna be there with the group, to actually be doing group activities rather than just be sitting around wasting time where she could be spending time on her own endeavors. Okay. My fault. That took me a minute for me to understand it.
Allocated for team activities not be spent on standby for the umpteenth time, framing her understandable reaction to the CEO contact.
And I'm pretty sure at this time she does, like they said before, she probably has to get a taxi to go back and forth. So it's like, I'm not finna Uber up here. It's just to sit around, and it's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
On standby for the umpteenth time, framing her understandable reaction to the CEO contacting her mother and scolding her for giving a 1-second choreo spoiler at a fan sign as some
You contacted her mom? What?
Mother and scolding her for giving a 1-second choreo spoiler at a fan sign as some unreasonable verbal abuse against staff, and more, which I will get into detail about.
What?
As mentioned, the first proof revealed in the article is about Chu blowing up at a team lead she once thanked for her debut back in 2017.
6 years.
About the CEO contacting her mother about the spoiler. However, something I notice is that
why these ain't got no... Nah, this shit right here on the right look edited. Well, I don't got no... Well, I don't even know what, because I don't see no timestamp on this one either. Or this one. Oh no, I think if it's like consecutive messages, it's not a timestamp. So I'm guessing it's that one and that one is together. It will have a timestamp. So, okay. So why don't these have timestamps then? I don't see one at all. This shit say 2022. How old is Chu at this time? I think Chu right now, her birthday just passed. I think she's 26 or 25. Why aren't you contacting her? Why are you contacting her fucking mother like she's a teenager right now? What the fuck are we doing?
Chu blowing up at a team lead she once thanked for her debut back in 2017, about the CEO contacting her mother about the spoiler. However, something I notice is that the screenshot leaves out the timestamp for every one of Chu's messages, making it seem like she's blowing up about a lack of response.
So they probably deleted or edited shit too.
If you haven't used Kakao Talk before, you might not know that every message has a timestamp, no matter if it's a follow-up or not. Okay. However, after a longer pause, a break will appear, but we can't see if that pause was an hour or a day or however long it actually took. I will add in here that obviously, like any sane person, I am on Chu's side here and recognize that the messages and their context have been edited and manipulated to make her appear as awful as they possibly can, including but not limited to the company staff and higher ups implying that the other members will have issues with Chu's actions, which is just so.
Esther Sunhee. Okay, so this is the CEO talking to Chu's mother. So I'm guessing Chu's mother name is... Oh, no, this is... Okay, so the CEO is Kim. Mother, our key choreography, it can't be revealed yet. What will we do? The members are going to have a meeting today regarding the tour. We expect complaints. Chu's mother, was the event not under BlackBerry management? I provided the text out of worry about complaints mail. May we receive today the deadline change request that we delivered to yesterday. So I'm guessing the little fan thing, the little video that we seen right here. I'm guessing this is what she did. I'm guessing this is what she did. The little 1 second, the 1 second spoiler. The manager saw it. The manager contacted the mother, trying to make it a bigger deal. Like, I don't think 1 second spoilers. Like, I see idols do spoilers left and right. Now, granted, this could be like back then. Maybe spoilers were like a bigger deal. But spoilers is like, I would assume spoilers is good to like build up hype. Unless you expose like a key, like a high note or like a lyric, whatever like that. I don't think a spoiler is really that bad. Especially a 1 second. There's not really much you can spoil in 1 second that's really giving the whole song away and making people not interested in it. But I'm guessing the company just looked for any reason to complain. They went to her mother about it, which is still crazy because I think at this point, if it said 2022, Chu was like 22, 23 at the time, or 21. She's in her 20s. So she's an adult, basically. She can handle her own things. I don't know why you're contacting her mother about it, but they contacted her mother trying to say that what Chu did was like a big mistake. And the mom is saying, like, is this not under BlackBerry management? Like, is this not something that they had to deal with? Like, well, I don't really understand what the mom is saying right here, actually. But I can understand that the company is just blowing this out bigger than what it needs to be, and basically trying to tell the mom to scold Chu, I'm guessing, or to like trying to paint her in a bad light. I got to go back a little bit because I'm trying to understand like what was the point of the contacting the mom? I'm not understanding that.
Longer pause, a break will appear, but we can't see if that pause was an hour or a day or however long it actually took. I will
unless they couldn't get in contact with her, but I can't see Chu being someone that you can't get into contact with, especially if you have paid her for 6 years. She's doing all of these things out of pocket. I'm paying out of pocket to go see these fucking things. I'm not going to be petty and not respond to fucking text messages.
That obviously, like any sane
and
person,
even then, when they showed the screenshot, they show a bunch of screenshots with them not replying back to her. So it's like, what are we talking about?
I'm on Chu's side here and recognize that the messages and their context have been edited and manipulated to make her appear as awful as they possibly can, including, but not limited to, the company staff and higher-ups implying that the other members will have issues with Chu's actions, which is just
so they're trying to guilt
ridiculous.
trip her, basically.
Her first round of messages translate to, with something like this, laughing. With 1 second, this is what you're nagging over? Do you not want me to have affection? I'm sitting out this album. While this may seem like a drastic response, I would say it's more likely her attempt to get the staff to reply to her because, as we now know, Chu did not sit out any album promotions for Flip That. As these messages were from early June and Flip That was released on the 20th, we can determine that this was just Chu giving a dramatic response to a non-issue being framed as the end of the world by the company's staff.
Exactly.
Clearly, this was resolved in a satisfactory way. The second part translates to, guess I'll never promote the album until I die, talk about other groups, my solo album, and solo activities. That's all I'll ever talk about. Appearing or participating in stuff like Queendom? Don't even dream of it going forward. You gotta be kidding me.
I think this so this is still her just basically being dramatic to get them to reply, which they still haven't replied, as I can see.
Said these are clearly the words of an incredibly frustrated person, and later parts of the article will reveal why. However, many people misunderstood the first message, so I will clarify. She was not threatening to take her life in any way. She said that until the day she dies, which is...
How did you even get that? Guess I'll never promote the album until I die. Talk about other groups, my solo album. And so I tell you, that's all I ever talk about. I don't even know how you got suicide from this.
Will reveal why. However, many people misunderstood the first message, so I will clarify. She was not threatening to take her life in any way. She said that until the day she dies, which is assumed to be many decades in the future, she will not promote Flip That and will instead promote other releases by herself or other groups. Along with that is the threat to not participate in team activities not directly related to promoting new music, such as reality competition shows like Queendom. When that still doesn't get a response, she gives an exasperated comment. The last part, after an omission, which could be more messages or it could be a long stretch of time, her words translate as, "Are you not responding? Team lead name, reply," showing again that her messages are going unanswered despite time passing. All of this is supposed to be proof of Chu being verbally abusive towards staff, but what most people saw was a, at this point, contracted employee being contacted via her mother/liaison to scold her for a non-issue seen all over their industry and having her friends /coworkers.
So the manager, so-called, I guess, couldn't get it. Cause I still don't understand why you just didn't contact Chu personally. But let's just say that you couldn't get into contact with her. I don't know, because that still doesn't make sense. So you didn't contact her directly, and she's still texting you trying to figure out what's going on. You still haven't replied to her. But instead of replying back to her, you choose to text her mom to tell her mom because they're basically just playing telephone. She's relaying a message to her, basically saying the company is disappointing you and the group, your members are disappointing you off of that 1 second spoiler. That's basically, right? And now when she's trying to get into contact with you to figure out what the fuck are you talking about, what's going on, why is it such a big deal, it's not that big of a problem, y'all try to paint it like, okay, so they're trying to paint it a certain way to make it seem like she's disgruntled and just not doing what she's supposed to do, and she's just being a problem when y'all did all these things behind the scenes that y'all obviously are not going to show. Okay. I'm trying to understand what's really happening, but okay.
Staff, but what most people
and I wouldn't even say that's her being verbally abusive. She's just asking. Y'all aren't responding to her. So I don't know. At
this point, contracted employee being contacted via her mother's.
If anything, not getting paid for 6 to 4 years. You going behind my back, telling my mom these things. You're saying that the company and my members are going to feel a certain way, and you passing messages along to her instead of talking to me directly. And you haven't heard talk to me about this. I'm surprised she didn't do worse. Honestly, I'm surprised she didn't do worse.
At this point, contracted employee being contacted via her mother/liaison to scold her for a non-issue seen all over their industry and having
over a 1 second spoiler. Like what?
friends/co-workers held over her head by the CEO, only to have her messages ignored for a long period of time. The next part of the article was what sealed the deal for most people, that this company is evil and has been taking advantage of its idols and the fans for years. The settlement structure the girls agreed to, as teenagers in most cases,
probably
looked
predatory
good on the surface. In fact, it was designed in a way where it looked good and favorable to someone with little experience in the industry, i.e. teenagers and their parents. The contract offered a 7-3 revenue split in favor of the
70-30.
company. While it may seem unfair for most industries,
is this counting? I don't know if is this counting like training stuff, like I said, the training period, the housing, like most normal things that idols go into debt for.
Favorable conditions in the K-pop industry, especially for a small company, as a higher revenue split should mean a quicker debt payoff, meaning they should start getting paid sooner than most idols in a similar position. The twist, however, is that the production cost would be split half and half, 5-5, 50-50, after the revenue was split. This was the minor detail that led to this contract becoming...
Wait, huh? Wait. Run that back.
Favorable to someone with little experience in the industry, i.e. teenagers and their parents. The contract offered a 7-3 revenue split in favor of the company. While it may seem unfair for most industries, these are favorable conditions in the K-pop industry, especially for a small company, as a higher revenue split should mean a quicker debt payoff, meaning they should start getting paid sooner than most idols in a similar position.
Right.
The twist, however, is that the production cost would be split half and half, 5-5, 50-50, after the revenue was split. This was the minor detail that led to this contract becoming incredibly exploitative. I will attempt to put this as simply as I possibly can with the lowest amount I can
help me
confusing.
understand this.
So in this payment structure, we have Party A, the company, and Party B, the artist.
Wait, so are they splitting it like 12 ways too? So if they just get like, I don't know, like would the money be split 12 different ways after they make profit, or is it like they get the entire I don't know. I don't really understand how it works with 12 different people.
In this payment structure, we have Party A, the company, and Party B, the artist. As a 12-member group, technically their revenue and cost burden is split 12 ways, but we'll make this simple and treat them as one entity. While making an album, the various costs associated come out to $100,000. We'll just say dollars. The album goes on to make a $150,000.
$50 profit.
In the structure you would expect this to be, right off the bat, $100,000 of the revenue go to the costs incurred, leaving $50,000 as a net profit. Party A then takes home $35,000, their 70%, while Party B gets $15,000. Everybody wins, everybody makes money, no debt as long as they break even. However, in the contract structure, A would take $105,000, a 70% share, while B would receive $45,000. Sounds good so far, right?
Then they do so they don't do that till after the production cost. So whatever they got right now is probably finna drop a lot because they still had to take into account the production costs. So they did it backwards, I'm guessing.
A 50-50 split of $100,000 would mean A is responsible for $50,000 and B is responsible for $50,000.
So they finna be in debt 5.
Easy for A to do. $105,000 minus $50,000 is still a nice profit of $55,000. But what about B? $45,000 minus $50,000 leaves them with a negative $5,000 balance. But these are much larger numbers we're talking about. Add a 0, add another 0. How about one more to account for the many, many releases and other content between 2016 to 2022 that a member such as Heejin, who's been there from the start, might be responsible.
Oh yeah,
she been
picking up crazy debt, Dean, because she been there since its inception. So 4 to 6 years. Oh my God.
Including trainee debt.
They hold her.
Own sick system I can't get into right now. With this structure, the album would have to make back at least 170% of its investment for Party B to break even. In this case, it would be $170,000 against a $100,000 investment. Add a 0.
So they had to make more.
The break-even point. For them to start earning a paycheck, they would still need more.
Exactly.
So it is impressive that Chu's solo work was enough for her to break even by the end of 2021 and receive her first paycheck in January 2022. The article also revealed that Chu was so successful in her solo endeavor.
It is so crazy to think that they could have been making bank before this. I don't know why they did all this bullshit beforehand. I don't think they stated like why exactly they was doing everything. Like there's no real reason for them to have failed because they had the pieces there. They just failed management, I guess. So I think that makes sense.
back in January 2022. The article also revealed that she was so successful in her solo endeavors that by November 2022, she had already earned 200 million won for her own pocket after not receiving any pay the previous 4
How much did the company owe before? Then they owe like 5,000, right? 3,000? 500 mil, 500 mil, 300 mil? What's right here? The lawsuit was filed, with Polaris. A 400 million won, but they only paid 40 million. So you mean to tell me that if she was able to pull this off, like if y'all would just do what y'all needed to do at the beginning, y'all would have been paid that debt off with Polaris, basically. So I still don't understand fully why things happened the way that they did. Like the thing with you right now, they're explaining this, making sense. It don't make sense why they're acting this way, but it makes sense like why things happened the way that they did. I don't understand why they would do it that way, but it makes sense for why things happened the way that they did. I don't understand why there were problems to fucking begin with, like with Jaden and them. I don't understand why that even happened. I don't.
Years. But what about the other girls? Those who had far less solo activities? Well,
She could have paid y'all dead off in 2 years, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here.
4 years. But what about the other girls? Those who had far less solo activities? Well, in fact, it was a member who brought up the payment issue with Chu in the first place. Around the end of 2021, Chu states a member asked her if it wasn't time to start getting paid, noting how her consistent activities with various CFs, ads, appearances, etc. should have already paid off her debt, and that is what prompted Chu to start digging into the finances. As we saw later, the girls themselves felt that
they attacked Chu basically because she started asking too many questions about the fucking money that no one else was asking. She was the only one, so that's why they attacked her, because she started asking questions.
Chu to start digging into the finances. As we saw later, the girls themselves also felt that Chu's expulsion from the group was the final act of betrayal towards the members by the company. Her legal victory in March 2022 came with several benefits attained by the courts viewing the revenue split as the nail in the coffin for the company. To begin with, revenue split was now reversed, with Chu taking 70%, and if costs exceeded revenue, the company would take on a 50-50 split, trapping the company in the same uneven deal they had
reverse they should.
On top of that, all management of non-group activities would be ceded to Chu, explaining why her mother was contacted for a spoiler from an individual schedule and why company staff no longer took her to and from schedules. As I mentioned, another factor was the schedule prioritization. Chu had the right to be absent for 3 full group schedules a month and 3 group album activities
6 years.
a month. If there was a scheduling conflict, her individual activity was prioritized. Another caveat was that if the company had to request a schedule change, they could only do so once. This addendum would expire on December 31st, 2022. There is another thing which I also mentioned. If one party causes damages to the other, that party must pay damages of 50 million Korean won per incident. And
if it causes...
First, 2022. There is another thing which I also mentioned. If one party causes damages to the other, that party must pay damages of 50 million Korean won per incident, and the contract may also be terminated immediately. It only takes 2 months for this clause.
Okay, so if for whatever reason Chu was unable to make it to a group event or anything that she's under contract with, she could be fined for that. And I'm guessing in return, if the group does anything that impedes her solo work, then they could get fined for that, and the contract can probably get terminated. Okay.
And the contract may also be terminated immediately. It only takes 2 months for this clause to be activated during the filming for Flip That. This gets a bit complicated, and I know I'm going into a lot of detail about this article, but all of this is very relevant to what went wrong. On May 25th, Chu's mother activates this clause as a delay in the music video filming began to eat into the time for Chu's solo schedule that day.
Okay, so...
From the schedule revealed in the Dispatch article, a scene scheduled for 11 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. had been delayed by an hour due to earlier delays, and this is where the manipulative framing comes into play again. Dispatch attempts to set up the situation as if Chu's mother was aware of the delay earlier and decided to activate the clause.
She was trying to take advantage of the shit. Like she knew what was going to happen, and she was just waiting for an opportunity to cash it in.
As if Chu's mother was aware of the delay earlier and decided to activate the...
Chu's mother notified CEO to pay 50... Oh, her mom was on top of that shit. Korean won in damages. What made her upset, the hint is, it is already May 25th. The claim being that a delay in the music video film interfered with solo schedules. Okay, I think I understand that. First, a brief summary. At 9 a.m. on May 24th, filming for the Flip That music video began. The filming was delayed and the group choreo scene scheduled for 11 p.m. was also delayed. Blackberry requested an understanding of around an hour of delay, which no, because y'all already been doing my fucking daughter dirty and you been doing all this bullshit. I'm not finna give y'all no leeway. Y'all gotta be on y'all shit. If not, y'all finna pay. Chu's mother claimed 50 million won due to the film delay. Good shit. The next day on the 25th, Chu was scheduled for a solo ad filming. According to her mother, the MV film delay interfered with her individual schedule. Chu's mother immediately claimed damage for Blackberry. So is this a second thing that happened right here? Or no, they said the next day. So they filed it again. Okay. I think.
Patch attempts to set up the situation as if Chu's mother was aware of the delay earlier and decided to activate the clause just to screw the company over. But the transcripts reveal something different. There's also another group scene scheduled for 2:30 a.m. for a scene that clearly never made it into the music video, and I'm just confused because clearly the agreement was that Chu would be leaving at 12:30 a.m. Elaborate. Right. The girls were scheduled to arrive at 7 a.m. with filming starting at 9 a.m. The day is mostly group scenes until 8 p.m. when there's a unit scene featuring Chu. At some point in the day, a delay happens and the photo shoot doesn't end until the last group choreo scene is meant to start filming. However, Chu's mother has already arrived and word goes around that she will be leaving. A member calls the CEO to ask about it, and this is framed so we think the members are also victims of Chu and her mother attempting to punish the company. However, I hope you're following around that she will be
Is Jiwoo Chu?
A member calls the CEO to ask about it.
I think so, because it said, okay. So one of the members contacted the CEO. This is Loona member. This is it's a short call possible. The CEO says, yes, we just heard that Jiwoo was going to leave. Okay, so I'm guessing Jiwoo is Chu. We just heard that Jiwoo was going to leave. It was supposed to be a group choreography scene, but Jiwoo was suddenly about to leave. So we prepared this as a 12, but now we had to do this as with 11. We found out about this suddenly. We had to follow along with this, but it doesn't make sense, so I'm making this call. Can you check how much time is left till the overall schedule ends? We don't know that, so is it okay to say this through the manager? Yes.
And this is framed so we think the members are also victims of Chu and her mother.
Oh wait. So is this the company trying to now say that Chu is now impeding because they was impeding on her schedule with the delay? Is this the company now trying to say that Chu leaving is now impeding on the company schedule?
Has already arrived and word.
I'm sorry, I know I'm doing a lot of pauses, but I'm trying to really understand what's happening.
CEO to ask about it, and this is framed so we think the members are also victims of Chu and her mother attempting to punish the company. However, I hope you're following along on screen because I will not be reading these transcripts. When the CEO asks if the member can tell them how much time is left, the member doesn't know, which is strange. She should be able to access the timetable as well, right? She hands it off to a manager. The CEO then calls Chu's mother, who, again, was already waiting in her car after midnight. The CEO tries asking for understanding that they were caught off guard by Chu suddenly leaving and attempts an appeal by saying Chu also prepared for the scene and asking for an hour of leniency. Clearly annoyed, Chu's mother attempts to dismiss it before agreeing in a very dismissive way. She then sends the CEO a text.
Wait, I'm still trying to read this. Oh my God, get off the screen. CEO made a call to Chu's mother. You must be waiting to come and pick up your child at the site, right? I think the situation is that the group choreography is seen as done yet. Chu's mother, I'm very sorry to say this, but I think it'll be delayed by an hour or so. I'm calling because I'm wondering if you're okay waiting. The CEO said again, the situation must be awkward for Jiwoo as well. It is a case where the 12 of them prepared the group choreo together and they had to do that, but it hasn't been filmed yet. Omitted. But now Jiwoo says that she's going to go all of a sudden. So, hello? I'm listening. Ma'am, I know you must have come a long way and it would have been tough, but just a little. Anyways, okay, all right. Then could you wait for a bit? I think it would be a really hard situation if she pulls out of the group choreo scene right now. Anyways, all right, I got it. Okay.
CEO tries asking for understanding that they were caught off guard by Chu suddenly leaving and attempts an appeal by saying Chu also prepared for the scene and asking for an hour of leniency. Clearly annoyed, Chu's mother attempts to dismiss it before agreeing in a very dismissive way. She then sends the CEO a text activating the clause and making it very clear that this clause was something the company themselves requested, saying, and I quote, your company included
she filed another one? As soon as she hung up the phone, Chu's mother texted CEO A. She asserted that the filming delay was a violation of contract. She sent advance notice that she would be filing a claim damage under Article 5, Item 2 on the addendum? Addendum? That's some contract shit. Choose mother, we'll wait, but we're going to make a claim. Okay, we'll wait, but we getting paid for waiting, basically. We'll wait, but we're going to make a claim regarding the contract violation. Your company included this item, so please adhere to it. Yeah, y'all put it in the contract, so I'm going to use what you gave me. I'm going to use the tools that you gave. If you will make a claim for contract violation anyway, then we'll wrap it up with her joining us until the last scene. So basically saying, if you're already going to fine us for this thing, for the schedule being delayed and this impeding on her thing, we might as well just keep her for the entire time schedule then. Since I'm already have to pay, might as well just fuck up the rest of the day for her. I don't know if it's like each infraction is a fine that they can assert, or I don't know if it's just like if her schedule is just fucked up for that day, the entire day is just fucked up and it gets to pay. I don't really know how it works. As soon as you confirm whether that's okay, I'll direct management. Please let me know the members are also waiting, so please respond soon. So yes, I don't know if it's like each hour or each time she's late for a certain event, that day is it count? Is she able to invoke this clause, or is it just one time late and that's like it for today?
Something the company themselves requested, saying,
that.
and I quote, "Your company included that item, so please adhere to it." The CEO then attempts to get her to back off of that by saying if they activate the clause, they'll just finish the filming schedule with Chu anyways. Is that clear? I'm not sure if that's clear. Basically, if you're making us pay anyways, forget about the hour. We'll keep her until the filming
we'll
is
keep
done,
her the
which
entire
is now
day.
scheduled at 6:30 a.m. The CEO then calls her again, and Chu's mother is understandably furious at their attempt to manipulate the terms of the contract, and after briefly making that clear, she hangs up again. The CEO attempts to...
Wait. Hello, you have time to speak? I don't want to talk right now. What did you just text me? You want to finish everything remaining since we're making a claim anyway? We have the ad schedule tomorrow, and I don't want to talk right now, so just hang up.
The contract.
Okay, so it must be like a one-time thing a day.
After briefly making that
or one
clear,
time,
she hangs
anytime,
up again.
like over.
The CEO
drafts.
attempts to apologize through text again and requests that Chu stay until scene 19 finishes filming, originally scheduled for 2:30 a.m. Chu left at 3 a.m. and the company paid the 50 million won penalty, with scene 19 never happening. They then bring up the set costs, which is really rich coming from this company.
Yeah, so y'all took that little hit of 50 million just to fuck up her future schedule, and y'all didn't even include the scene. Y'all just did that shit out of spite, I'm guessing. Like I said, I'm looking at all this shit with bad faith when it comes to the company. So it's like, fuck it, I'll pay this little 50 million, but the rest of the things you finna do is gonna hurt you more because, okay, so that 50 million isn't gonna mean shit to us compared to how much you're gonna lose by not going to the schedule that you already had assigned, I'm guessing. The CEO immediately texted an apology on Kakao Talk. It's not that we didn't consider the Jiwoo situation. Please understand that this was caused by a delay on the site. We also find it regretful that we went over time. We also apologize greatly for the difficulties that might cause for Jiwoo's schedule on the 25th. Then you shouldn't have written the text like that. Nevertheless, please consider one more time. If it's possible, I'd like to ask that she participate through scene 19. So the entire day, I'm guessing, to 6:30, I think they said. With Bob Berry agreeing to reimburse 50 million for the filming resume. Unfortunately, the group scene 16 was able to be filmed. Chu went home around 3 a.m. However, T19, which CEOA asked for, never came to be. The set construction fee also went up in smoke. So if she didn't stay that extra hour for that extra time for the scene that didn't even matter, she would have been able to make it to our next schedule. But because they already had her there, they just kept her there, just, like I said, out of spite.
Never happening. They then bring up the set costs, which is really rich coming from this company, but I'll get into that later. Some more manipulation attempts come through in late December 2021, around the time of her lawsuit, where Chu confirms that she has no intention of skipping Loona schedules despite the lawsuit, nor has she ever done so. She also calls out the company for not being able to set up any broadcast schedules anyways, and makes it clear that by now she views the company as a whole as liars attempting to smear her name to get her to comply. On the last days of 2021, Chu reiterates her mother's request for the company to hand over her seal, a legal stamp that can replace a signature. When the team lead doesn't reply, Chu gets passive aggressive.
Oh, like the little shit, bro. Yeah, okay, I know that. I think about what you mean. Why do you care about a seal? But that's the little, like a little stamp thing that you can just put down. That's basically like a signature.
A legal stamp that can replace a signature. When the team lead doesn't reply, Chu gets passive aggressive, calling them out for not giving her.
Oh yeah, because you got that seal. You could just put my name and say I signed off on any bullshit. Yeah, definitely get that shit back.
When the team lead doesn't reply, Chu gets passive aggressive, calling them out.
That's like you having my fucking cell phone and you texting people on my phone, acting like you're me, agreeing and saying you're gonna do things that I never said I was gonna do. Yeah.
For her legal seal, her payments, her financial documentation. reputation, and more. Last part talking about the article, I swear. There's a Q&A section with Chu's representative at the end that sheds some more details revealing things hidden within the proof provided by the company. For example, the 70-30 split that could, in practice, result in the company taking on a much larger share of revenue and put the members into a perpetual cycle of debt. Her side makes it clear that since the settlements were per person, she, with her many solo opportunities, was able to turn a profit much sooner than her members, and they were not living off of her work. Her earnings went to her settlements only. Dispatch attempts to lead her into a me against the members question, but her representative makes it clear that the filming delay was just the last straw, adding context to her mother's upset. When asked about what the company had experienced as power abuse, Chu's side clarified that Team Lead B was the only staff in the company who would still respond to her, and thus all her frustrations would pour out on them. But this leads Chu to reveal damning evidence against another higher up in the company back in November 2021 when she was still attempting to get to the bottom of her earnings calculations. The higher up, identified as Director D, attempted to dissuade her from some contract by talking in circles about the revenue split, but the one comment that stuck with readers was when he asked her, "You finished grade school, right? It's not like you didn't finish, right?"
Oh, so this must have been a situation that she was the first bullet point that she brought up, because I was trying to figure out when did they bring up her education, trying to call it stupid.
Circles about the revenue split, but the one comment.
Also, hopefully she'll use this. Like, are you going to talk to me like that? I'm just thinking, right? Like, no. Hopefully she brought this up anytime she do another settlement against them. Like, y'all talking about power imbalance and power abuse. Look what the fuck y'all saying to her.
Stuck with readers was when he asked her, "You finished grade school, right?"
He tried to say we're joking. What?
Right? To which Chu clarified to Dispatch that the comment
abusive
led her
language.
to think she would have to speak aggressively for them to listen. At the end of the day, I'm only human, so I made a mistake. After successfully turning more people to Chu's side, Dispatch edited the article to remove a majority of the proof that had been provided. In particular, they removed the text between Chu and Team Lead B, as netizens and fans found Chu's responses to be praiseworthy. Many people identified with her struggle to be treated with respect by her employer, even when the power dynamics had supposedly shifted. There's a saying online: a lot of people interpret respect to mean treating someone as an authority, while others interpret it to mean treating someone as a person. And there are those who think, if you won't treat me like an authority, I won't treat you like a person. I'll leave the article for now, but I encourage everyone to read the full document, finish the Q&A section, then read the first parts again. Back to the other members, a few days after the company announced Chu's removal, 9 members also filed for the suspension/termination of their own exclusive contracts, as mentioned. Despite this, the company took advantage of their position to force the members to start preparing for a mini album to be released early 2023. The members made it clear from their messages to fans that they were not on board and extensively complained about the freezing conditions of the music video filming. After protests and boycotts from the company resulted in just about 290 pre-orders recorded in the first week, the company announced that the album would be delayed indefinitely. Unlike projects such as their Battle in the first.
The member situation are not resolved, explained the company. Therefore, the new album, The Origin O, which was scheduled to release on January 3rd, 2023, will be postponed indefinitely. Blackberry creator then went on to explain his financial position with regards to Loona debut and subsequent activities as a group. Is it? I don't know if they explained it, but is there situation like they have to release a certain amount of albums or releases or do something music wise before they can get out of their contract, or is it like a straight 7 years like I know most contracts are nowadays?
We're not.
Or is it until they pay off their debt? Because it's like if they push this album off indefinitely, then they'll never be able to release music to get out of the contract, because it's like the company is holding them back from it. And I don't like, unless the girls themselves can go to the court and be like, y'all are stopping us from fulfilling our contract so we can leave. I don't know how else they get out of this. Unless it isn't like a contract-based thing. I mean, album-based thing.
On board and extensively complained about the freezing conditions of the music video filming. After protests and boycotts from the company resulted in just about 290 pre-orders recorded in the first week, the company announced that the album would be delayed indefinitely. Unlike projects such as their Ballad album that hadn't been recorded nor any actual promotional content filmed, messages from the girls and the posting of teasers, including album details, confirmed that the album was pretty much ready for release at any moment. A music video filming, album jacket shoot, and the song recording suddenly scrapped, and we know how the payment structure worked. However much, all of that cost would not even get a chance to get minimized by revenue, meaning 50% of the production cost would be added to the girls' debt, assumed by Dispatch to still be around 200 million won 4 to 6 years in. This is not the first time the company would incur production costs only to minimize or completely reduce the possible profits. For example, the members of Y revealed that they had filmed an entire music video for their album B-side Rendezvous 18.6Y, which was never released. The Cinema Theory event mentioned earlier also featured multiple videos.
Oh, wait. Let me make sure I understand this. We actually filmed 18.6Y MV, but it was never released. We even had a drone with the album cover outfits. So I'm guessing because the revenue is split, or the cost and everything is split before they even make profit, if I understood the little calculation at the beginning, they're basically just burning a hole in their own pockets because they didn't release it. So it's like you went to the grocery store, spent money on all the ingredients for the food, but when you get home to finally prepare it, you just throw it all in the garbage. So you just wasted your money, basically. That's how I'm thinking it's working. I don't know for sure. I'm probably going to go through this video again, and hopefully people in the comments can let me know if I'm getting some things right, because I'm looking at all these things as it's happening right now, so I haven't really had time to really sit there and process what's really happening. I'm just going off what I think is happening.
Or completely reduce the possible profits. For example, the members of Y revealed that they had filmed an entire music video for their album B-side Rendezvous 18.6Y, which was never released. The Cinema Theory event mentioned earlier also featured multiple videos filmed only for that event, as well as exclusive content such as choreography videos shot during the time of the music video filming. It's not big, but there is a subsection of Orbitz keeping track of what is called Loona lost media, or media we know was produced but never released, or released in such a limited capacity its existence is only confirmed by the very few who got to see it, such as the official music video for 365, only released for their December 2019 fan meeting. Some more context on these types of things also include Chu's removal from the 2023 season's greetings. Loona, from the release of their 2020 season's greetings, began a theme of releasing merch packs in each girl's representative color, one by one, in order. So that kit was in Heejin's bright pink, the Orbit fan club kit after that was in Hyunjin's yellow, the 2020 summer package was Hasel's green despite her not participating, and so on and so forth until we reached the 2023 season's greetings, which was meant to be Chu's peach. However, after her expulsion in late 2022, she was removed from all content related to the kit and haphazardly edited out from group shots, including in the behind the scenes. The expulsion and exclusion from content already filmed becomes even stranger when you realize there was just barely over a month before Chu's contract addendum was set to expire, during which they could renegotiate terms. I'm not sure where else to put this, but I felt compelled to bring up Chu's message to Team Lead B, where she said the company refused to give her money, seal, and financial documents, and the response to dispatch that activating the penalty clause was not done just because of the music video filming. Trigger warning here for several forms of abuse, but I'm going to speedrun them. The members were kept on a diet of half an apple and a boiled egg for a majority of their pre-debut, until when has never been specified.
What?
Of half an apple and a boiled egg for a majority of their pre-debut, until when...
I knew diets were crazy, but half an apple and an egg and that's it?
Has never been specified.
On top of not getting paid? And y'all... Oh, fuck no.
The company restricted their movements so severely they were only allowed outside of their dorm for 30 minutes a day. Staff, including the creative director, would confiscate...
How can they do all of this? How? Wait. Okay, the money thing, okay, you get the money from the company. Okay, I understand that. How the fuck can the company stop you from going outside and eating? How? They can't live in the dorms. They can all live in dorms and the company has control of the dorms. You can't hold someone prisoner inside of a building, can you? You can leave the building. You can eat. Unless there's certain things in the contract that's being you can't leave outside of this time. If we tell you to come back, if it's that case, then I guess that's how they control them. But I don't see how else they would control you and tell you not to leave or not to eat. Especially if they're teenagers, they're still under their parents, unless their parents signed away guardianship to the company. I don't know. I'm still trying to understand how the fuck you can stop them from eating or doing things like that. Whenever I hear idols talking about they got diets or things of that nature, I'm looking at it as the company is probably guilt tripping them into thinking they're fat or thinking that they're not taking it seriously and they're hurting their group because they're gaining weight and they're fucking up the image or whatever. That's what I assume anytime I hear people say they're on strict diets and the company forced them into it. That's how I looked at it. It was just mentally. Are they actually physically restricting them from eating? I still need to understand this whole don't leave, like you can't leave for 30-minute thing, because it feel like they're fucking kids right now. When I don't know how old they are at 2020, but I'm assuming they had to be at least 19 years old. So that I don't know. I don't really understand that.
The company restricted their movements so severely they were only allowed outside of their dorm for 30 minutes a day. Staff, including the creative director, would confiscate their food in order to enforce this diet, while some managers would look the other way or sneak them food such as sandwiches. Also, on the creative director, he told a then 16-year-old Haeju to lose 6 kilograms in a week, then come back for her final evaluation. She achieved that by severely restricting her food intake. She passed the evaluation and was immediately called back for a shoot the next day, which would turn out to be the cinema theory teaser. During what is now referred to as the butterfly hiatus, they kept the girls in a severe limbo from around March to December, during which the girls have described dieting pretty much the whole year, promised 2 separate comeback times that didn't come true, thus making the girls feel like they were lying to friends, family, and fans. The limbo also kept the girls from doing anything productive with their time, which they have expressed frustration over, such as not being able to attend language or music classes, and in the case of Vivi, she was not able to return to Hong Kong from her debut until her injunction, for a period of roughly 6 years. I don't have it in me to look up. So
she was trapped in Korea until she finished the shit, and she couldn't because the contract wasn't over.
Language or music classes, and in the case of Vivi, she was not able to return to Hong Kong from her debut until her injunction, for a period of roughly 6 years. I don't have it in me to look up more instances that I may have forgotten, but I just want to point out that none of these were factors in their contracts being terminated. They were terminated exclusively from a contractual validity viewpoint, and the years of abuse had no bearing, as you will see. In early January, members Heejin, Kim Lip, Jinsol, and Cherry all win an injunction for their contracts, suspending them until further notice and freeing them up to sign with a new company. Usually a contract injunction is only granted when it is clear that—
Wait, was all this shit happening when Jaden was there, or was this after he had left? Because I know that some of them went to my house and they made Artemis. And I know they had Lucemble as well, but I don't know like how Lucemble worked out, what all that's about. They won their lawsuits at least. On January 13th, it was reported that the injunction request to suspend validity of their exclusive contracts has filed with these members. They won their contract while 5 had lost. How did they explain how the 5 lost? Let's be carried out as is. Okay, so it is a contract based thing. I'm guessing a contract based on the time with the company, or like I said, is it based on just how much money you bring on releases you do? I don't think they said that specifically yet.
With a new company. Usually a contract injunction is only granted when it is clear that staying under contract would do more harm than not, and it is not an easy thing for a K-pop artist to achieve. Despite this, the 4 members would be among the 11 total to participate in a postponed Japan concert. The remaining 5 were not granted injunctions, as the courts decided a previous amendment to their contracts made it so an injunction was not necessary, despite the company clearly violating their human rights for years. In early February, the company announced their intention to legally blacklist Chu and the other 4 members from participating in entertainment activities. At the same time, Universal
Wait. Y'all trying to hold them more? The entire K-pop fandom, along with Loona's fans, is vehemently criticizing BlackBerry Creative for their petition to ban Chu from entertainment activities. As per Star News report, on January 1st, 2023, the agency submitted a petition to the Korean Entertainment Management Association and the Korean Entertainment Producer Association for the same. It was also reported that BlackBerry Creative's plans to submit similar petitions for the 4 members along Loona. For the 4 more Loona members, Heejin, Kim Lip, Jinsol, and Cherry. These were the members who were recently won an injunction lawsuit to terminate their exclusive contracts with the agency.
Their contracts made it so an injunction was not necessary, despite the company clearly violating their human rights for years.
Did the companies
In early
allow
February,
it?
the company announced their intention to legally blacklist
places?
Chu and the other 4 members from participating in entertainment activities. At the same time, Universal Japan, their Japanese agency, announced that all 12 members were under contract with them and they would see to it that their obligations would be fulfilled regardless of their status with their company. Remember this. The next day, Vivi and Hyunjin, the 2 holdouts, filed for their own injunction, which was granted in early May. Heejin, Kim Lip, Jinsol, and Cherry would sign with Mod House, the company founded by former creative director Jaden Jong, in March.
I would assume this didn't happen with Jaden because they went back to where he's at, so I'm assuming he treated them well. It was after he left, that's when bullshit started happening.
Filed for their own injunction, which was granted in early May. Heejin, Kim Lip, Jinsol, and Cherry would sign with Mod House, the company founded by former creative director Jaden Jong, in March, while Vivi and Hyunjin would sign with CTDE&M, a company also founded by a former staff member they had been working with since the very beginning, in June. A few days after Hyunjin and Vivi signed with their own company, the remaining members were granted their injunction appeal. In the meantime, fans had submitted petitions to the court in collaboration with Loona's legal representatives. Ultimately, their appeals were granted when it was determined that the company had transferred the exclusive contract rights of the members to Universal Japan without the members' permission. Remember that? Remember how the company had taken possession of Chu's legal seal and were reluctant to return it? It's all connected.
Documents
While Mod House
money.
launched the Artemis project and added Hasu, Hyunjin and Vivi were joined by Yojin, Gwon, and Haeju and started plans to form their own unit group called Lusemble, a portmanteau of Loona and Assemble, establishing their identity as a group intrinsically meant to bring the 12 members together. Odd Eye Circle made their long-awaited comeback in July with mini-album version Up and title track Air Force One. Apprehension began to show among fans when they began to feel the pre-release promotions were too familiar, to put it nicely. Post-promotions weren't much better, though most fans are willing to chalk that up to their former company's promise to blacklist the members in Korea. Instead, Odd Eye Circle embarked on a small European tour in August. In the meantime, Lusemble were preparing for their own mini-album. To explain the release, their company coined the term comeback, itself a portmanteau of the words comeback and debut, setting aside their strange position in the industry as both an independent group and a part of a larger whole. Lusemble would make their debut in late September with their self-titled mini-album featuring title track Sensitive, as well as several B-sides, all of which featured lyrics from the members themselves. Along with that was B-side Strawberry Soda, written and co-produced by member Eve, who is still looking for her own company. They also embarked on a US showcase tour due to
Eve
two
just did
factors.
something with Pink Panthers, I believe, if that's the one I'm thinking about.
The first and more obvious was that their comeback coincided with most music shows cancelling their broadcast due to both the Asian Games and Chuseok festivities. The second was because CTD was sued by their former company due to using Loona in both their group name and to promote their tour. Thankfully, the courts determined that the Loona members should be allowed to promote themselves as such, using the reputation and brand recognition of the name to their benefit as they had earned it. October was a busy month as Chu and Heejin had their comebacks with their mini-albums Howl and K, featuring title tracks Howl and Algorithm, respectively. Hassel also held her own 4-day mini-theater concert event, with appearances from the other members included in Artemis, as well as digital single Plastic Candy. In November, Chu held her first solo concert, My Palace, in Seoul. Hassel and Lusemble held a busking event and fan concert on the 25th, respectively, and Odd Eye Circle released an English version of their second title track, Sweet Crazy Love. Now, in December, we have already gotten Artemis's The Carol 3.0, their reinterpretation of Hassel's solo B-side The Carol, which originally featured Heejin and Hyunjin and was previously remade in December 2017 by Vivi, Cherry, and Eve. All companies announced their respective season's greetings. Chu began her American tour, Howl in the US, and while Lusemble have begun teasing their second album, Artemis have announced plans for their project group's collaborative album Dal to be released next year. However, their former company refuses to give up, stating that the 11 members are still artists under their company and they have begun the process to sue Chu's mother for defamation. This is why it is so important to continue boycotting Loona's music.
Defamation is proof. It's proof in the pudding.
Chu's mother for defamation. This is why it is so important to continue boycotting Loona's music and content released under that company. Although most of their money probably comes from their very wealthy parent companies, showing that fans are unwilling to support any project from the company, whether old or new, could be instrumental to the courts deciding against the company in the final rulings. You may have noticed that throughout this video, I have not referred to the company by their name, Blockberry Creative, and that was intentional. I wanted to leave that for this last part to remind you that it's not just this company using underhanded tactics, manipulative language, or their position of power to take advantage of young people only hoping to achieve their dreams. This is seen over and over again throughout not just the K-pop industry, but every music industry. At the end of the day, these companies only exist to make money, and as long as artists are not protected by the same workers' rights afforded to every other profession, they will continue to be exploited by greedy executives. This video got much longer than I intended, and obviously some things were left out. Feel free to add extra context in the comments if you think it was something important. I need to take a nap.
I think, was that fucking Grok? Is that Grok? Oh my. Wait, I just had a crazy thought. Okay. Nah, this is actually fucking crazy. Actually, like, I still don't understand exactly why most of the things happen the way that they did. Like, the whole situation with Chu, I understand. But I don't understand why from, like, the beginning. Like, I want to say it probably all started from when they stopped him from being like creative as he wanted to be, from doing the Luniverse that way, he left. And I guess when he left, the company just like had free reign to do whatever the fuck they wanted. And I guess at a certain point, you don't need a reason to do certain. You don't need like a comprehensive like or just a real reason. People just do shit just to fucking do it. But it just feel like they're going above and beyond for what, like they're still chasing them, talking about the 11 members as of today from what the girl said at the end. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like there is a lot of things, like she said, there is a lot more information she did leave out. So I know I was all over the place in this video. Pausing and talking a lot is because I don't really fully I understand what's happening, but I'm learning it in real time as I'm watching this video. So a lot of things don't make as much sense as it should when I first hit it. But I want to say when I watch this again, like as I'm editing, just to make sure I fully understand things, and whoever is in the comments is gonna like let me know extra information, that shit will help. But I already know this is gonna be like this is a long ass fucking video actually. This is gonna be almost an hour long. Okay. Like I said, I know I did a lot of pausing and talking, but that was because I wanted to like fully understand the situation. And like I didn't want to just sit there aimlessly and just listen to someone talk to me without fully comprehending. So if there is anything I would probably misunderstood, I know the money part I probably didn't understand fully. But if this is anything else in here that I said that I didn't fully understand or didn't get a good grasp on, y'all can let me know in the comments. I'm actually gonna be in there asking questions about this, because this just seems like something that shouldn't have been able to go on as long as it has. And then luckily, I think either yesterday or 2 days ago, I know something did get announced with idols now being able to have some type of protection. I know I retweeted it on Twitter, but I didn't get a chance to like fully read it. I just know that I seen comments saying that thank you NewJeans and thank you Loona. And that was one of the reasons why I did want to start looking into this now, because it's like, oh, okay, so these are some of the pioneers or people that really had a voice that made a change. So I at least want to know their situation to some extent. But yeah, let me know in the comments what's going on, if I did miss anything, or add any extra information that you think is needed.